pastors only. Today we're going to talk about sermon slumps. I don't know if this has ever happened to you. I've been preaching a sermon, and while I'm preaching it, I'm thinking to myself, this is really terrible. I wish it would end. I cannot wait till it's over. So what happens, and this happens to every pastor, when you hit a sermon wall, a sermon slump? These are 9 things in less than 5 minutes that can help you with your sermon slumps. Number 1, read. It happens to me. I can tell you when I'm in a sermon slump, I have not been reading. I'm going to link a couple of books that have been especially beneficial to me. These books are not about preaching itself, but they help me in my spiritual walk. And you cannot flow from a cistern that has no water. So reading is one. Number 2, I asked teenagers in my church, young people, what topics they would like for me to preach on. One of the best series that I found in that church, one of the best series, I asked the teenagers, they give me a list of topics, I preach it. It was interesting that because I connected with the teens, their parents listen in. Number 2. Number 3, get yourself a team. I know several of you do this, but preaching is better in a team. You have 2 or 3 people in the church. It's really difficult not to find 2 or 3 people in the church that you get together maybe once a month, ideally once a week. It can be through Zoom, it can be through phone, in-person meetings, and just go over the message. This happens better if you have a sermonic year. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Number 3, get yourself a team. Number 4, I listen to other good preachers. I just go online and I listen to other good preachers. There's ideas everywhere. So what I'm looking for is a renewal. So I'm not listening so I can copy them, but there are some ideas, they open some paths that I can walk through. Number 5 is rest. It's amazing the clarity you have after you're rested. I have found that I am more in a slump when I haven't rested. And the problem with pastoring is you never have a finish line. You're always doing something. So when you're not rested, it's really hard to be tired and creative at the same time. Rest. Number 6, listen to yourself. Some people say, well, I don't like listening to myself. Well, you don't like listening to yourself, but you want us to, right? That doesn't seem very fair. Listen to yourself. You might be surprised. There's some things that you say that you do not remember saying them. That's the Holy Spirit at work. Sometimes we think, man, that was a terrible sermon. And somebody afterwards says, man, that sermon changed my life. There's something you said in there that just really sparked a new direction in my life. It's amazing what happens when you listen to yourself, all the things that you learn. Number 7, sermonic year. Sermonic year, sermonic year. It's tedious. People that are there's some people that resist it. There's like, no, there's too much going on in the world. I need to take it month by month. It's amazing what happens when you have a sermonic year, because all throughout the year, since you already know the themes of your 12 months, and I'm going to link an article that I wrote about it and how the process that I use for the sermonic year. When you know the 12 themes that you have for the year, all these illustrations start coming into focus. That's why I use my phone and I write them down. I have a little file there that I write down illustrations as they come to me. That's number 7. Number 8 and number 9, closely related. Number 8 is pray. I left it to the end, not because it's less important, but because I just want to highlight it. Once again, preaching is a spiritual exercise, and pastors, I think that the statistics said that they pray 10 minutes a day. It's really hard to give people a word from the Lord when you haven't heard from him. So pray. I'm not talking about you kneeling down and praying for an hour. I don't do that. I run and pray for an hour. Right? I drive and pray while I'm driving. You don't have to be kneeling down praying in your room for an hour. There's other ways of doing that. And then the last one is fasting. Fasting is like prayer on turbo. So it took us this video, instead of 5 minutes, it took us 5 minutes and 40 seconds. But I hope this will spur you on. If you have any comments or any questions, or you want to interact with me personally, send me a message. I'm always willing to answer questions. This has been for Pastors Only. What do you do with a sermon slump?